When you eat might be the most important part of eating. Dr. Greg Silverman joins us live to discuss this further. Dr. Silverman, it's so great to see you. We know that when you eat later in the evening and then try to go to bed, it can be tough, difficult, but also your metabolism, it really affects all that stuff. What did you learn from this study?
Correct. It's a really interesting study. They took a small number of people and fed them the exact same thing over several weeks. And the one part of the study, they fed the people starting at 8 in the morning and they finished around 4 in the afternoon. And the second part of the study, they started people around noon and ended about 8 o'clock. And it turns out those people who ate later before they went to bed, closer to when they went to bed, had changed hormone levels, increased risk of adding fat, increased sugar levels. It was kind of an interesting study to say, yes, maybe it is. There should be a time lag in between whatever your last meal is and when you start sleeping, and the hormonal levels of that.
What is it? What do you think is going on here? We like to wait to eat later and enjoy it when we don't have to worry about work, so we just figure, hey, we'll put it off until later?
Well, I don't know. I think the interesting part is some people sort of say, okay, you're supposed to skip breakfast, or you don't have enough time for breakfast, or you don't have enough this. But as it turns out, and this is where these intermittent fasting comes into play, and there's different ways of doing what we call intermittent fasting. What that means is basically you take an 8-hour window out of your day and say, okay, I can eat in that 8-hour window. Now, you don't have to fill it up, but then let your body relax and rest for the additional 16 hours to get over that. Let the cells recover. Let your abdomen and intestines recover during that 16 hours when you're not eating.
And so also one thing that I appreciated, and it wasn't in the study, but somebody commented on it, is that skipping breakfast, don't do it. That almost certainly leads to obesity. And I know a lot of people like to just wait until lunch, or they might snack on something small in the morning.
Right. Well, I think that's also part of the study, which was basically they didn't have breakfast. They just started sort of around noon and then ended around 8 o'clock. So by the time you go to bed, you're still not fully digested. The rest of this is not fully digested. It may not be the skipping breakfast part. It may be just moving the time back to when you start eating and the maximum amount you can eat. That is just in a time number rather than a calorie number. It's an interesting study, and it suggests, yeah, we need to let the rest of us resolve. We need to let our bodies recover for longer than what we do.
Wonderful. Dr. Silverman, as always, we appreciate your insight. Thank you so very much.
Have a great week.
Absolutely, you too. And if you have a question for Dr. Silverman, please send us a text at 361-855-6397. We'll make sure he gets those questions and answers them as soon as he can.